Hey everyone, we are here at the Blizzard office. I'm Grubby, and with me here to talk about Warcraft Reforged, the remastery of Warcraft 3, as it were, is Pete Stillwell from the Blizzard Classics game team.
Howdy.
Howdy. Yeah. You're from
Chicago. It's known for being a Western
Chicago,
city.
so
Yeah.
howdy.
Yeah.
I've seen that in a lot of movies, like in American movies.
Yeah.
So, Pete, you just released the news at the opening ceremony, the keynote, second to last announcement. Warcraft Reforged, to I think a very electric response from the audience at both BlizzCon and at home. There was non-stop foot traffic at the demo stations where people could play it.
Yeah, including a celebrity cameo by yourself on the last evening because we were understaffed and it was epic for you to show up and help out, so everybody appreciated that.
So did you.
Yeah.
So some other staff, they're showing like where people can play, what kind of party size. All right, the two of you, we have time for you to play the Culling of Stratholme now on the demo station. Those poor staff, sometimes they had no time to eat, so we helped out a bit, right?
Yeah.
That was fun.
Reception was insane. As hopeful as we were, and as much as like a lot of us here love it, like I think you described it as electric. It was like I couldn't believe it when I was standing there, and just that line never stopped being full from opening ceremonies up until we closed. So like felt really great for Warcraft 3.
So what does that do for the motivation when you guys are going to be coming back to the office?
I think that's what BlizzCon is all about. Like it's a service for the fans, but we as developers go there and get to interact with you guys, and it's just like it gives you this shot in the arm to want to go back into the office and kick more ass and get the game ready.
Yeah, I can only imagine. So for those of you that may have seen you, but they don't know maybe your official job title, what is your role on the Blizzard Classics game team, also in pertaining to Warcraft Reforged?
So I'm the production lead for Reforged.
Yeah. Okay, and what does that mean?
What does that mean?
Eli 5.
That's a lot of the pounding the drums to keep people in time, and I think the part of my job that I like the most is kind of being a conduit for the community, making sure when we're looking at features or doing development or looking at the art or anything that I'm doing everything I can to try to have the community's feedback, be it on the forums or Reddit or directly from people like yourself, and championing that and making sure we're thinking about those things. It's easy to kind of get lost in development and start to just insert your own kind of beliefs and desires into things, but the cool part about a remaster with these is that like we can have these open dialogues. It's not a brand new game where we want to come out and kind of have the grand reveal and surprise everybody and with something new. Like this is like a true partnership with the community.
Yeah, I mean the game already has millions of fans over almost going on 2 decades. So yeah, there's definitely a lot of people that you can talk to about Warcraft 3.
Yeah, there's even just like an encyclopedia worth of knowledge to tap into right away, right? Like we can sit there and read, like you said, like a decade's worth of artifacts of people talking about balance or wouldn't we love to have this or that. So yeah, there's a wealth of information out there.
And you spoke of your own desires and when you're working on the production. What does Warcraft 3 personally mean to you?
To me, it's like one of the grandest stories ever told. It's one of the best RTSs of all time, and the fact that those are bundled up together is what to me makes it so next level. It's a lot of my childhood. It's a lot of my formative years. I can't overstate how much it means to me, I guess, ultimately.
Awesome. Describe a full day at the office in the month running up to BlizzCon.
So,
or at home. Just
sure.
a full day.
Especially leading up to BlizzCon, like we had this idea for Stratholme to make it look more like WoW and to take that instance that we all probably spent more time in than we ever did in the actual culling. And especially once we were coming back to it and looked at the art and said, wow, there's Greek columns and this doesn't feel like a Western European city like you're supposed to kind of get the impression it is. So Ryan, who's one of the guys we hired out of the community, just like went into WoW and took a 10,000 foot view of of the city, and then he just started to pound the map into this new form. And we played it, and it was tighter, and it felt better, and it felt more conflict with Melganis, and it just started to feel more progressive in what we were labeling as Reforged, of we're trying to bring these things forward. And we love what it was originally, but we've learned so much in the past 15 years. Let's apply some of those lessons learned. Let's hope that a new player looks at this as like an exciting new game, just as much as those of us who are returning to this will kind of have that nostalgia moment that feels like you're playing it again for the first time, because in some ways you will be, but you know, it still pays homage, and it's still an ode to the original. But I think it shows our evolution as a company. It shows the evolution of the franchise of Warcraft. So we would usually play in the afternoons. Everybody would play for like an hour, and then we'd sit down for another hour and just be like, hey, how was the experience? Did it start to push things along? What could we do to make it more interesting? And that's where a number of the designers started thinking of ideas for these little, what we ended up calling vignettes inside of the city, where...
Vignettes?
Yeah, little story moments, where, as an example, in the southwest corner, where eventually the Scarlet Crusade has that keep, even within the burning Strathhome instance, we put a few militiamen there who militia up, or a few peasants who militia up, and you know, they don't go quietly into the good night. They resist, and we wanted that like sense of like, this is a big, vibrant city. Like, there should be more moments than just you knocking down houses, slaying the innocents. I mean, dispatching mercy.
Yes, dispatching mercy.
Yes, as we coined it. But
he's a hero.
Yeah, he is a hero. Understated. Yeah, very much so.
Okay, so...
and then we would take notes, We would take notes out of those sessions, and then the next day just kind of rinse and repeat, of start in the morning and say, all right, these are the 5 things we want to accomplish today. We'll see you at the playtest tomorrow, this evening. And then we just kind of kept doing that until we started asking ourselves, is this the one? Is it ready?
Oh, yeah.
Nope, not quite. It needs this. And then, eventually, I think it was even within 2 weeks of BlizzCon, we were finally like, yep, this is the one. Let's put it in the can. Let's give it to IT so they can install it on the computers and actually have it ready. But yeah, it was a fun kind of culminating effort, and really brought the team together on it. It was awesome.
So now we've heard about it before BlizzCon, and it's cool to see that process. It actually reminds me a lot of how a professional gamer of Warcraft 3 might prepare for a tournament, where you say, okay, what do I want to achieve today? And you do like playthrough and analysis. Definitely not everyone does that, but it's a great workflow that if you have that structure. So it sounds really interesting. Now let's talk about after BlizzCon. You have countless amounts of data from all the demo stations, all the people you've spoken to, interviews. You've done this once before, haven't you, for StarCraft Remastered?
Correct.
A post-BlizzCon remastered, I guess, feedback evaluation session. What does a week after BlizzCon look like? A standard day at the... It's not standard, probably.
Sure. There's a lot of recovery, but no, what we're doing right now is, I think we had over 1,000 people from the play sessions leave detailed feedback and comments on the new UI, and everything else about the experience that we were updating, and what they want to see with the art style, and like just good meaty feedback. So we'll plow through that. We'll spend a lot of time just kind of reading and observing and collating, and then some folks that are a lot smarter than me will cut the data up and put some metrics behind it, because we also saved all of the replays, so we'll be able to see how people were actually interacting with the game.
You can parse them with programs.
Right, yeah, we can crunch through the data and show how many people died or how many people didn't finish, and based on the difficulty level, was that what we wanted? And so we'll learn a lot from that. And you yourself are here along with a number of the other influencers from the community, where we're listening today and trying to also get that first round of feedback before you guys fly back home to your respective places, and get those first impressions out there while they're fresh, because that's usually, I think, the most honest and brutal moment where, and that's why we tried so hard to get this game ready for BlizzCon, so that we could have these conversations, because doing it right now gives us plenty of time to make adjustments and course correct moving into next year and into release next year.
Yeah, it's good. I'm happy to be here too with the others to give feedback, and It's been brutal. It's been very
Yeah,
brutal.
so hard.
Sometimes too much, right?
Yeah,
Like, give them some time to recover. um, no, I think it's been really good. So we've kind of talked about BlizzCon and the pre and post. I'd like to help you and you help us to clear up a few things that came up after the announcement. So one thing that a lot of people wondered about, which actually I believe kind of surprised you and well, me personally as well, does Reforged apply to both Reign of Chaos and the Frozen Throne?
Yes, it does. We were bad at communicating that. As we did with StarCraft, it will be a sort of one big compendium now. So you'll just get both games inside of one client instead of needing to switch back and forth. It's really just a game setting at that point of, say you were going to launch a custom map, you could say use Rock versus use TFT. But like the campaigns will be just one big, seamless campaign experience.
And would you say that it is correct or incorrect to think of it as you own or have Warcraft 3 Classic, or you own or have Warcraft 3 Reforged?
It's the same client, like ultimately.
One client.
Yeah.
So what people are purchasing when they get Reforged is the ability to upgrade loads of settings, graphics, audio, essentially, within one game.
Yeah, it's all of the content. It's the amount of effort we're putting into the campaign to rebuild the campaign as we did with Stratholme and the Culling. It's new voiceover. It's the graphics themselves. There's a mountain of work going into
one
it.
client. All of that goes into this one client that you'll probably refer to henceforth as Reforged rather than ROC HD plus TFT HD,
right?
Which is a lot of acronyms.
Sure. Yes.
Okay, cool. And so the map editor, the world editor, is going to be the same one as well then?
Correct.
It's the same shell.
The foundation,
But you're adding some bonus capabilities to play around with some models, some functions. The UI, you guys mentioned at several panels, is going to be modular, which means that map makers, if they so wanted to, and they've already done in the past, and they make like a first-person shooter map inside Warcraft 3, they could have a lot of that UI that used to cover nearly 1/3 of the screen fade away for their particular map, correct?
Correct.
And then, so this world editor being one client, some people may wonder, the old maps that I coded, 80,000 lines of code in Warcraft 3, can they move without a hitch, or can they move at all to Reforged? Or remain in, I should say.
Sure. Depending on the amount of like custom art or things of that nature, like it should move without a hitch. If the map maker has made a few unique assets and the rest are based on the standard library of assets, then all of those standard ones would become HD, which is awesome. And then they would just need to probably correct those couple of custom assets that they've made. But probably the lion's share of the work being in the actual scripting and creation of the map, like that stuff should work. So
that's the goal, that remains playable.
Yeah, there's something in the neighborhood of 1 billion maps out there, and it would be tragic to lose those. So that's like priority one, is to make sure day one as much of that existing content as possible is still available. So
the philosophy should therefore also be, from what I understand, is if someone makes a map in the editor that he has unlocked by purchasing Reforged, that map can also be played by people that are still only playing Warcraft, let's call it Warcraft SD.
Sure, yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Legacy features that Warcraft 3 has had, I call them legacy features now, but they're currently in the game, they exist, that may not be part of some other Blizzard games, such as the ability to create clans, put information in your profile, or even the stats that we have attached to Warcraft 3 accounts that are currently existing, with the icons that are associated with it. Are these things usable in Reforged once Reforged hits a new Battle.net alliance, with the new launcher, the new client of Battle.net?
Yeah, similar as we did with StarCraft Remastered, you'll be able to kind of merge your legacy account with your modern one, and thus retain that artifact of your games played and won or lost or what have you. And then for clans and things of that nature, similarly we'll heal up the back end differences essentially to still empower you having clans and and we'll be using groups, which Battle.net has implemented recently. And the real power there is that even when you leave then the Warcraft 3 client, you should still be able to talk to that clan, which I think is awesome. Like, you can stay connected even if you were playing another game or
on mobile,
yeah,
or
exactly.
while the launcher is open and you're playing another game.
Yep.
Cool.
Yeah. So
Very
I think
nice.
that's really great, because if one of your buddies is like, "Hey, I got a game open, hop in the lobby," you don't you'll see that risen up and be able to click to join or what have you.
Sure.
Yeah.
So that's going to make the game a lot more accessible and recognizable to the many millions of players that play other Blizzard games and that might be trying out Warcraft 3 because it goes on the main launcher. With the new accessibility, Pete, of the of Warcraft Reforged now being a part of the launcher palette of choices that players have, I'm sure millions of players are going to be trying out Warcraft 3 either for the first time, or they're going to be returning players that have wonderful childhood memories, and they're like, "Hey, cool, Reforged, remastery of this game." World of Warcraft players that are in love with the Warcraft IP, that want to see where it all began. These millions of players that are going to be coming to Reforged, what is your general philosophy on how you would like to receive them in Reforged, the experience that you would like to serve them up?
Sure. I think this is the origin story of a lot of important characters that truly shape the world of Warcraft. As an example, it's an RTS that gave life to new genres. Like, there's so much to celebrate here, and the way we're trying to approach this is more than just putting a new coat of paint on it. Is to make it feel as modern and as vibrant as any other game, so that you're excited to take the time to play through the campaign. You're excited to relearn the ladder and have that anxiety, but also that thrill of competitive play and rediscovering Footman Frenzy and MOBAs and all the other amazing games that have been born from the custom game community. Like, there's so much here. Those of us that have been a part of it for so long know and appreciate that. But the really, I think, as you pointed out, exciting thing about coming to the modern Battle.net launcher is that you'll have potentially millions and millions of folks who can come experience this for the first time, and they'll feel like it's a brand new game. And we're doing everything we can to earn that kind of Reforged moniker of this is more than just a simple remaster.
Yeah. And I guess you'll have a similar story for the millions of players that have played loads of Warcraft 3, the very vibrant and active community that still plays Warcraft 3 now, that hit the ladder, the custom game scene, that like to play twos with their friends. Is the philosophy for them the same? Some of them may have played World of Warcraft, some of them may not. Are you looking to just enhance their experience as well?
Yeah. I think the real objective is to give you that play experience that you expect, right? Like, the gameplay will feel as reactive. The way units interact, the way you play the game, the core of it will still be there. But then all those other trappings around it make life easier and better and more connected, so that you can kind of have the best of the both worlds, where you don't have to open 6112 in order to get your friends playing. You don't have to email detailed instructions for installation. Like, all those things that are barriers to entry, really, we hope to have knocked down, so that you can just be here to enjoy the game. And I will say, like, all of you folks who have been with this game and haven't stopped playing, like, you're our ambassadors to that next generation of players that hopefully we bring in as we get Reforged live in the launcher. So we really look forward to that partnership, and for you guys to help people learn and love this game the way we do, and become part of the community, because we hope to see it blossom.
Amen times 100. It's my message to you guys as well. Like, we're going to have a lot of players that are going to be coming into Warcraft 3 that may be completely new to RTSs, or that may feel like they have stupid questions. Let's try, I know many of you are hardcore Warcraft 3 fans. Let's try to be the best possible that we can be, in order to help them learn the game better and show them the beauty of both our community and the genre of RTS and Warcraft 3 in particular. If you want to make help tools, you can share them with me, and I can try to give them some more promotion, and just in any Twitch chat where you are, any forums, help each other, because I think that's going to be really fun. Let's treasure the new visitors and the new people that are going to be staying with us. So the next question, with the new Battle.net coming to Reforged, have you given thought to maybe highlighting some of the content that people might want to make in order to provide educational opportunities for new and existing and learning players, either through the client or through the launcher?
Yeah, so we don't have like concrete plans yet, but ideas that we're kicking around are some training systems so that if you are brand new to this, we can show you how to, build up your base and macro and, get your economy rolling and understanding how many peons or workers you should be having going to a gold mine versus, on lumber. And yeah, exactly. Like helping people understand the fundamentals. I think the other big difference of today versus yesteryear is people like yourself and the amount of content you can find from content creators, that those are excellent resources as well. So we're trying to figure out like what should be kind of our providence and what we can allow, capable folks in the community to pick up and champion, because you're going to make a more interesting video to train people probably than I would or we would, but we'll figure that out. But we do know that we need to have those things. We know, for example, with the editor, that we're going to put documentation together to show people not just the new stuff that we're doing, but if you're new to the editor, here's how you get started. Here's how you do the things that we take for granted now after having used it for so long. So we really want to have the doors open wide and our arms wide as well to bring new people in.
So it's not 100% fleshed out, but you have the desire that if someone comes out with like a stellar piece of educational content, that at least the wish or the aspiration to maybe, if it's possible with all the hoops, to feature it on the launcher or make that a tool for new learning players.
To find some way to serve it up to the community. Yeah.
How long do you plan to support REFORGED?
As with StarCraft Remastered, like we have no plans of like taking the team off of it after we've shipped. Like we're still patching SCR as an example. So like we're here for the long haul. We have a team dedicated to Warcraft, and they're just as excited as I am about this product and about what this game means. So we can't wait to actually get to that point where we have it out there and we can kind of get like the next ream of requests in from the community and get to start working on things that are even more progressive or whatever it is.
Sure, yeah. Oh, that sounds really good. And also related to that, what is, I guess, Blizzard's message to people that enjoy Warcraft 3 esports and maybe are looking forward to the opportunities with Warcraft Reforged esports? Like what kind of position or philosophy do you hold when looking at that?
Sure. I am also excited for the future of esport and its potential around Warcraft 3. We watch the Gold Tournament all the time in the office and keep apprised of that because that's, to me, the best Warcraft 3 has going for it right now. And hopefully, as with SCR, when the ASL started to do even better, and then eventually the community's demand for our involvement led to the KSL, hopefully we'll have some sort of symmetry with that where after launch and after we have balance where we want it to be and the game playing as well as it can, that there's a general outcry for us to get more involved, and we'll see where we go from there.
Sure. Yeah. Sounds really nice. A few short fire questions before we have to move on and do other things. Your favorite custom map?
So this one maybe not everybody has played, but Three Kingdoms, which is a really popular one from China, I think is really cool. And that to me is because it was like an experience I didn't expect to have, and that one's more recent. So I as much as we can talk and love some of the older maps, like I'm always surprised and educated by these games with these classics about
what they can do with
what different communities do, and like that's like as important of a story, in China as the Odyssey or something, right? Like it's a central type of mythology, and seeing that brought into this game, which is like a central point of mythology in my mind for games, is just super cool.
It's really cool.
And what makes it so wild that...
And it has an English version?
Yes. So there's the cool thing about the battle platform, which is our partnership with the JV, is that they've also localized it into English and Korean to try to make it more accessible.
Cool.
Yeah.
And do you know if that maybe can that map be found on Hive Workshop?
I do not know, to be honest.
Because a lot of cool custom maps are to be found if you just Google, guys, Hive Workshop. They're like a great map making community for the world editor and Warcraft 3. So maybe that map is there. Did you personally play it via the
battle platform?
The battle platform.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, okay. Cool. Thank you for the answer.
Choose your own adventure. Yeah.
Do you have any pets? If so,
I
what
do.
kind?
I have a German Shepherd mix. He's a rescue named Arthas.
Named Arthas.
Yeah.
Okay. Favorite TV show?
Favorite TV show? Wow, that's a tough one.
We can come back to it later.
Yeah.
Favorite sport?
Favorite sport is hockey.
Hockey.
Yeah.
Do you play? Do you watch?
Yeah, I grew up playing hockey and still watch the Blackhawks. Yeah.
Okay.
Go Chicago.
Yeah. Illidan or Arthas? Who's the bigger hero?
Hero? The character I like more is definitely Arthas.
Arthas,
yeah.
really?
Yep. Yeah.
Well,
I mean,
your dog is
my
called
dog
Arthas.
would be named Illidan if I had preferred Illidan. Yeah.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Yeah. Okay.
He would have to wear a blindfold also.
What do you like
if he
about
was named.
Arthas? Do you feel like he made the right decision at Stratholme? Spoiler alert.
I mean, obviously not. And to me, what makes Arthas compelling is that he is so flawed, and he gets pulled down into this chaos and makes some really bad mistakes. And sometimes the best lessons are cautionary tales, right? And that's what I loved about the game and about him, and that, like, hey, we're all motivated to do things, and sometimes that motivation can overpower rationale and lead us to places we shouldn't have gone. And that's what I find compelling about him. Like, I guess I am more of a fan of that tragic, Romeo and Juliet, like everybody's dead at the end kind of story, I guess. It feels more authentically human in a sad way. But, I think there's authenticity there, and I think he's just a very compelling character as a result.
My wife is, I think, a very sweet person, but she actually thinks there was a lot of merit to what Arthas was doing at Stratholme.
Okay. Wow.
Like, she really gets it.
Watch your butt.
Well, we talked about it a lot recently, and she's like, what if it would have worked? What if killing all those villagers would have actually stopped the grain from spreading?
Sure.
And sometimes you have to make a sacrifice like that.
And hypothetically, it could have. It was then his being taunted by Mal'Ganis to head north, right? Like, that's where he's probably gone too far of just
chasing revenge, and it's not just
instead of just protecting his homeland, he went too far and then came back and destroyed it, right? So
okay, last question: where can people order Reforged?
So you can find Reforged at playwarcraft3.com.
Okay, and it's pre-purchasable now.
Yep. Yeah. Get the Spoils of War.
So Spoils of War has like some extra stuff?
Yeah, it's got a ton of goodies. It has a card back for Hearthstone. It has 4 free heroes for Heroes of the Storm. It has a sweet Mal'Ganis pet for Diablo 3. It has 4 unique hero skins for Reforged itself. And those are really cool because we decided to take characters that I think would play well across any way that you're playing Warcraft 3, right? So if you're playing the campaign, there's a new skin for Jaina, but that skin also works to replace her as the Archmage in competitive play.
And you're not sure exactly how that's going to look like yet, right? The options, the toggles or anything?
Yeah.
You've got skins, you've got that capability, and you're still iterating exactly how.
Yeah, to be fair. But
cool.
Yeah.
And did you forget the Meat Wagon mount for a while?
I did not. We just hadn't gotten there yet. But we've got some consoles for StarCraft, both StarCrafts actually, consoles. And then, yes, the pièce de résistance.
The pièce de résistance.
Yeah, is the Meat Wagon mount.
Yeah, I had 2 friends say that they're just going to get Reforged just for that already.
Yeah, well, they should play the game.
Yeah, I'll teach you, guys. I'll teach you, Josh.
Right.
I'll teach you the game.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for the interview. Thank you for all the amazing work on Warcraft Reforged. Really looking forward to it. The future's bright for Warcraft.
Yes, it is. Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, Pete Stillwell.
Yeah, appreciate your time. Thank you.